can now come and hang out at the King's Lounge located right next to the buffet and directly opposite the poker arena to try out some of the best shisha in all of Europe. For those of you that aren't aware, shisha is a steamed instrument that's used to vaporize and then smoke flavored tobacco. After a long day of playing at the poker tables, for me personally, this is the perfect way to unwind and relax in comfort and luxury. So why don't you come and check out the King's Lounge? Cut. Take a seat. You can now come and hang out at the King's Lounge located right next to the buffet and directly opposite the poker arena to try out some of the best shisha in all of Europe. For those of you that aren't aware, shisha is a steamed instrument that's used to vaporize and then smoke flavored tobacco. After a long day of playing at the poker tables, for me personally, this is the perfect way to unwind and relax in comfort and luxury. So why don't you come and check out the King's Lounge? Cut.
You're very welcome to King's Resort. We are broadcasting live. This is the German Championship of Poker Festival. Massive event. Comprises of several major tournaments. Combined prize pools equaling 1.2 million. This particular event is the No Limit Hold'em Bounty Hunter. Buy-in 200 plus 100 plus 30, so a 330 buy-in, 300,000 guarantee. And you can see in the background there, 500 guaranteed in the main event, which we will have next weekend. And that is the 1,000 buy-in. This is our feature table. That's David Vick, the King's TD, overseeing proceedings, giving the okay to the dealer to shuffle up and deal some interesting characters, some names, a couple of big names. Very right of the dealer there, we have Kamenko from Slovenia. Featured him several times on the live stream. Top tournament player, well over 100k in tournament earnings. And an interesting dynamic between seat 1 Sunshine Ellie on the left of the dealer and the gentleman you see here in your screen, Doc Igor, in seat number 7. You can see him on the right hand side of your screen. These two players are actually an item. They are partners. And that is Doc folding out the 7-3. Well, apologies, this is Doc in seat 7 with the baseball cap. And now Rozvadov plus with the suited ace, of course he's going to open. He's short. Well, he's 680, which is about average. Plenty of big blinds there. The blinds 10,000, 25,000. Pretty standard raise here, suited ace. And now we see Kamenko playing a similar size stack with the Queen 9 offsuit. And from Germany, Sunshine Ellie looks down at King 10 in the cutoff. Sunshine Ellie deciding not to get involved, and this is Sharvin, who is extremely short, 330. Suited ace on the button. You wonder would this 3-bet work? He decides against it. It's a good hand to do it with, but decides to fold out. These players have been playing with each other for quite some time. We're just picking up the action here late in day 2. It's the German Championship of Poker. Then this is the Bounty Hunter. That's Rozvadov plus with the suited ace taking it down. Left of your screen there you can see Doc Igor, nickname of course. Just having a bit of banter. Doc is sitting on 1.3 million, which makes him the big stack on this table. He's about double the average stack. So, shout out to Johan in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in again, Johan. Appreciate all the hard work you do, looking after our chat. We're going to be broadcasting live here until we get down to 24 players, then we pause the clock. This is Doc, chip leader. Always going to be opening in this position with a hand this strong, pocket nines. Rozvadov plus will just be folding here. I mean, you want to see a flop, don't you, with these type of low suited, semi-connected type hands, but you really don't want to be paying big money. And unless he turns his hand into a bluff and 3-bets, I think he's just going to let it go, and he does, Kamenko. Now this guy has a lot of talent, Kamenko. We featured him a couple of times on our stream. Every time he's stood out. Very impressive. Now, Sunshine. Will she go up against her partner? No, she decides to fold the Jack-9, and this is Sharvin with the Queen-3 offsuit. One of these short stacks. And that is a short stack. Yakum to fold it. Small blind, Andres 7-5 off. This will be binned, and just the big blind, which is Julio, who decides Queen-3 off. Just not attractive enough a proposition to defend against the chip leader on this table, Doc Igor. We have about 42 players left. There is about 40k for first place, 300,000 in the prize pool. All of these players, of course, already in the money. They're all guaranteed double their initial buy-in. 645 is the payout level we're on at the moment. Interesting couple of weeks here in the resort. This is a huge, absolutely huge festival. I mean, the combined guarantee is incredible, 1.2 million. Mostly small to medium buy-ins. Of course, the main event has a 4-figure buy-in, 1,000 for the main event. That carries 500k guarantee. And that kicks off later next week. We do have the mini main that started tonight in the resort. But we're going to stay here with the Bounty Hunter, and we're going to see Kamenko open here with the King Jack. If he gets a big stack, this guy, he is pretty vicious, believe me, very strong, very capable. Sunshine doesn't want to know about it with the 10-5, and Sharvin, one of the short stacks, is going to be folding the 10-7. Now, interesting. Snap fold with the small pair from the very short stacked player. And the button folds now, just the blinds. Small blind not interested. So it's the Bulgarian Martin Georgiev with the 9-6 offsuit, 375 in a stack. Martin decides to defend with the 9-6 off. Puts in the additional 35. Blinds 20, 10, 25, 40-minute clock. And that's interesting. Martin, a lot going on here. He has the good shot, has bottom pair. And he has the backdoor diamonds. Well, 7 will work. Kamenko does pick up a good shot, but Martin has made a straight. 75,000, interesting decision, good shot. Kamenko wondering, would his king or jack be good also? He thinks perhaps not. May have chased. If the overs were good, but Too likely his opponent betting with a straight in this situation. Martin takes down the pot, the button moves, and we're watching the Bounty Hunter. It's the German Championship of Poker Festival, and this is one of the highlight events, 300,000 guaranteed. So, posting big blind is the chip leader, Doc Igor, with the baseball cap there on the left-hand side of your screen, and center screen you're going to see Rozvadov plus open. Big slick, he is suited. Compulsory open here under the gun. $60K open, sunshine, picks up an ace, unsuited, ace 9 would be problematic if sunshine were to connect with that ace. With this in mind, she decides just to let that one go, and now we have Sharvin 4-2 ugly short snap folds the 9-3 off, and now Andres folds. Julio, Colazzo, Queen Jack, he is suited. Likes the look of this hand, puts in the 60,000. Martin will fold in the small blind, just the big blind, Doc. Well, this is going to be really interesting. We're for sure going to see a 3-bet. Doc with the 1.3 million chip stack. Very interesting situation here. I guess the Italian Giulio Colazzo, well, he's just going to wave goodbye to that 60K, I'd imagine. Can't see Rozvadov plus going anywhere. After this sizable 3-bet you expect. About 1.7 million I'm expecting. Well, it's a lot bigger, and I get I would imagine the reason this sizing, I mean, it's huge. It's bigger than a 4x, this 3-bet. Well, it's 3-way. Now, what's Rozvadov plus thinking? Well, I know what I'm thinking. How quick am I going to put my money in? And Rozvadov plus dramatically grabs the all-in button. Now, it's interesting for Doc. Well, just snap calls. He doesn't mess about. No dramatics. You're not loving life. When your opponent 4-bets there, you could quite easily be running into the aces or kings, but more likely you're going to see queens or jacks, but well, given you're blocking aces and kings. Both players with the same hand. There is one club there, so free roll for Doc. Club in the turn would give him a potential flush. Not going to happen. Pot will be chopped, and they split up the 60,000 Julio, put in with the Queen Jack suited. Apocalypse UK in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Bounty Hunter. And that what you see there right in front of you is the chip count graphic showing the stack sizes for each of our feature table players. Yakin with 7 bigs. Not really good situation to be in. It's a 40-minute clock. Doc, commanding lead there, 1.4 million, 55 bigs. And his companion, Sunchanelli, as mentioned, these two are a couple. Seat 1 and Seat 7. Both running very deep in this Bounty Hunter event. Both in the money. It's just about 40 players left. Kamenko with a small pair. These are difficult to play, these hands. Well, in this position, under the gun, wouldn't surprise me to see Kamenko just dump these fours. And now Sunshine Ellie picks up ace-9 once again. One might think it's time to start getting active, but Sunshine not interested. Early position, ace-9 off. She quickly folds and Yakum folds, and now it's time. Suited ace. Let's go. Yakum. Snap shove with the suited ace. 180k. 7 bigs over the line. Doc will be folding his 9-8 off. And it'll be down to Rozvadov plus in the big blind. Well, 8-2 is going to be pretty easy to fold. Still counting his stack. Shows the deuce, surrenders his chips. Short stack there. Takes down the blinds and antes. It would have been an interesting situation had Sunshine opened with the ace-9. Does Joachim, does he still shove for 7 bigs with the ace-8 suited? Perhaps not. Early position open from someone that's playing pretty snug. I think he might have found a fold. You can see, center your screen, just refreshing himself. Rozvadov plus. And then on the right hand side of your screen, that's Kamenko from Slovenia. Left hand side of the dealer here, seat 1 will be first to speak. It's Sunshine Ellie. Sunshine playing about 700k. Well, 800k in our stack. 9-5 under the gun, not going to be interested in that. And Sharvin with a suited king, 330. It's the chip leader, it's folded around to him. So, always going to be opening from a wide range. Queen 8 for sure qualifies. It's light, but it's pretty standard this. Big stack, just the blinds to contend with. Rozvadov plus, having a bit of banter. Kamenko in the big blind with 10-8. You'd expect Kamenko to defend here. Well, he decides not to. He folds. Doc takes down another pot. In control here. Button moves, blinds posted. Still 10,000, 25,000. Still have about 40 players left. This is the German Championship of Poker. It's event number 5 in the series, but it's event number 2 in the series. Holds a 300,000 guarantee for the 200 plus 100 plus 30 buy-in. Final day tomorrow. Also currently running is the mini main event, just kicked off today. Mini main event, 100k guaranteed for a monkey buy-in, 500 plus 50, 100k guaranteed. That's running right now. 1A started. Registration still open. 1B tomorrow. And on Tuesday, 1C. Wednesday then, we have a turbo flight for that mini main event with the day 2 proper starting at about 4 o'clock on Wednesday. 100k guaranteed in that. Now, button open here from Rozvadov Plus into the big blind of Sunshine Ellie. Both these players playing very similar stack sizes. Rozvadov Plus starting with 725. Ellie with 750. She puts in the additional 40k with the pocket 4s. You can see the field size top right there, still 42 in the mix. It's not very appealing for Sunshine. This is going to be checked in Rozvadov Plus. Well, if you're opening with 10-4 off and this kind of board comes down, you're going to be representing these big cards as the pre-flop opener. I expect Sunshine to check and Rozvadov Plus to continue. That's going to be difficult for Sunshine. I think she had an opportunity pre-flop. Well, this is incredible that Rozvadov Plus check back there. Now Sunshine has to have a go at this. And unless Rozvadov Plus is setting up something creative here in the turn, which it looks like he is, and he's raising here. This is quite interesting. Now Sunshine needs to think about this. Why would he check flop and now raise turn? One of the reasons I'd be suspicious is he's in position. But it's getting too complicated for Sunshine Ellie. She decides to fold to the raise. Rozvadov Plus takes it down. And you can see Doc Igor still on top. Rozvadov Plus second. These are nicknames, Doc Igor, Rozvadov Plus, as is Sunshine Ellie. With 5 players, sub 20 bigs. Still about 15 minutes or so left in this level. Then we go to the 15,000, 30,000. You can see the average stack there, top right. Just shy of 640k. So, min raise from Giulio Colazzo with the suited ace, and it's folded around to Doc Igor, who snap folds, and Rozvadov plus the Frenchman. With 7-5, looks like he wants to get interested here. Then decides to let it go, Kamenko. Not seeing much from Kamenko. But if he gets going, believe me, if he gets a stack, he will be a force to be reckoned with. Kamenko folds the ace-5, and now Sunshine Ellie. 8-7 in the small blind, unsuited. Ellie will just let this one go. But it's getting desperate now for Sharvin. Just 11 bigs behind in a stack. 6-4 offsuit though. It's just so weak, but look at his equity. It's incredible. Against the suited ace, he's 37%. Let's see an ace folded. These percentages, of course, take into account cards folded. So, Andres. Haven't seen Andres get involved. Julio folds. This is Martin. He folds. Action now with the big stack. 1.4 million. Doc Igor. Queen 5 off, I guess. It's just a little bit too light to open for Doc. Rozvadov plus in the hijack. Well, he should be opening quite wide. Once the big stack, the only player that hasn't covered folds. Rozvadov plus, you'd expect to open quite light, and he has been. We've seen him with that 10-4 against Sunshine Ellie a couple of hands ago, but decides to let this one go. Kamenko from Slovenia. Cut off position. Suited queen. It could be strong enough, you know. He's looking at the blinds. The problem is there's a couple of short stacks there. And it'd be a pretty nasty situation if he were to get shoved on. Ellie for sure be opening here in the button. Absolutely mandatory open. And she's got like the two short stacks side by side in the blinds. I'd be just putting my whole stack in here. Why not? Put the lot in. Her biggest exposure would be 11 bigs. And King 10 auto mucks. Now this is interesting. Jackham with the small pair decides to fold. Well, was it interesting there? The small blind with King 10 could have free bet with that hand. Given that he's up against a button raise, I think King 10. I think it's a 3-bet rip. I think it. I'd be ripping with it. Sunshine. Send to your screen. Takes down the pot. It's one of the reasons I would have liked to seen a shove there with the sevens. Now Julio with the 9-5 under the gun folds Martin with the 7-6, and nothing really happening for these guys, all sitting side by side opposite the dealer. But Doc, a lot happening for him. He's in control here, but doesn't fancy the suited queen. He folds in Rozvadov plus. 7-5 offsuit. We're down to 40 players. You can see the graphic in the top right showing the field size. 893 players. Kamenko folds the 8-4 in Sunshine Ellie. In the cutoff, Snap folds the 10-4 off. Sharvin, I'd be ripping here. Why not? You're going to get so many hands that you're flipping against the fold. You're going to even get some hands ahead of you. 3s and 4s will have a hard time calling here. And a hand like this is going to fold. Queen Jack. And you can see like the Queen Jack's actually greater equity than the small pair. Andre's having to think about it, but too often he's crushed here. King Queen, King Jack, Ace Jack type hands would all be shoving like this. That's a good situation. When you get hands like that, you're flipping against the fold, you pick up the blinds and ante. It's good business. And Sharvin Ziapur from Germany, happy enough to take that down. Andre's just having a discussion about how strong he was there, folding in the big blind. I think it's a fold, the Queen Jack off. I really do. This is Martin, suited ace, but first position. Martin decides to open. Doc with the 9-8 suited. Now, big blind, Julio, Jack 10. You'd expect to defend. Well, ace in the window. That will relieve a lot of stress from the early position raiser Martin, who checks back on that ace 8-8 board. Good shot now for Julio. Good semi bluff and lead here, but decides to check. Now you're going to see Martin, well, I expected. Martin to fire there, but there's very few hands that he's ahead of that. We'll call. Four in the river. Now you're going to see Martin put in a value bet. It's pretty clear he's the winning hand. He would have heard from an 8, 100%. So small bet, target, king high, queen high, 50,000, two bigs, jack high, just doesn't qualify. Julio decides to check fold. Now, Rozvadov plus. Big slick once again. Looks down. Big blind still 25, a couple of minutes left in this level. Makes it 65 to go. Kamenko. Down to 450, Kamenko. And Sunshine. Not really interested in playing the Queen 5 off. Sharban 330 in a stack. Brian still 1025, but as I mentioned, just a couple of moments left in this blind level. This is Andre is still on the button. He'd love to see a flop with this hand 9-10 suited, but he decides too risky. Early position raise. He mucks. Big blind decides not to defend. Rozvadov plus takes it down. Gets a stack up to 940, and well, I mean, he's top of that cumulative wins chart for sure. Rozvadov plus, he started with about 650 and he's won close to 300k in just one level. Average stack around 650. 38 players remain. 40,000 up top here in this German Championship of Poker Bounty Hunter event. Rozvadov plus under the gun with the King 9 offsuit. Yeah, just catching up with some of the remarks. This is a straightforward knockout. It's not a progressive. So when you knock someone out, you get the bounty, you win their bounty. Bounties valued at 100. So theoretically, one could win 89,200 in bounties. There's 89,300. That's the value of the bounties. Each player has 100 bounties, so if one was to knock every single player out, they would win that 89,300, including their own bounty. But I mean, that's fantasy, let's be honest. Does add up, quite significant. The regular prize pool will award 40,000 to first place. That's excluding the bounties. Now, small blind versus button. Martin out of position, he checks on this Queen 10-7 flop. Julio does have the back doors. He's just going to try and take this down. I think it will work. Check. Martin gives him a look, but I don't think there's much Martin can do here. Ace 8 on a Queen 10-7 board. He decides to check fold. You can see the 500k advertisement in the background. That's the main event. And the main event kicks off later next week. It's 1,000 plus 100 buy-in. 1A kicks off Thursday, 4 o'clock. Then we have 1B on Friday, 4 o'clock. We have a 1C on Saturday, and late Saturday evening a 1D turbo last chance. The regular clock for that is a 45-minute clock on day 1, and then day 2 goes to 60 minutes. That's the German Championship of Poker main event. 500,000 guaranteed. Sharvin with the ace 10. Makes it 60k, blinds up now. 15,000, 30,000. Fold around to Martin on the button. Martin folds and docking the small blind with the king 7. Rozvadov plus in the big blind with 9-5 is suited. I expect him to put in 30,000 here. And you can see the equities here. Like, they're so close. Rozvadov plus smart enough to do the mathematics. 30,000 to call. There's 135 in the pot. He's getting 4.5 to 1 on his money. Looking at the stack size of Sharvin, does look strong this open from Sharvin. Min raise from a 10 big blind stack. Rozvadov Plus has missed. And Sharvin top pair. Check incoming from Rozvadov Plus, and I think Sharvin will just end it here. Any kind of a bet size, it looks like 100k, well 75,000. It's going to be folded. Rozvadov Plus. Let's it go. We're going to be bringing you the final of this Bounty Hunter tomorrow. And as mentioned, part of this festival, there's several massive events. Kicked off already is that 100k guaranteed mini main event, which is half the price of the main event. It's 550 buy-in with the 100 grand guaranteed, and then the main event is 1,000 plus 100 with 500k guaranteed. I mean, these prize pools are humongous. 1.2 million in combined prize pool guarantees for this German Championship of Poker. Field size down to 37. Average stack close to 700k. Andres. 13 bigs. Sides to open with 7-6 suited. Should get respect this. He's been playing pretty tight, Andres, but he hasn't picked up anything. Really hasn't had an opportunity. Opens here with the 7-6 suited. Doc folds the 10-9. Well, sorry, Doc still peeling his cards. I expect him to fold the 10-9. And Rozvadov Plus in the small blind with the 10-2 suited. Rozvadov Plus, center your screen, sunglasses. Very active, the most active. But not interested in Kamenko. Well, I mean, Kamenko's down to 13 bigs now. Nothing he can do with 9-3 off. There's a little grin and just shows his trash hand to Andres. He'll be delighted to take down the blinds there. These guys short, side by side. In fact, all these three players on the very left of your screen, you can just see his elbow. That's Sharvin. Then on your left here in the glasses is Joachim. And then Andres on the right of your screen here. All these players are short. It's Julio taking a seat. Under the gun is Sharvin. He folds, and there's the compulsory shove from the short stack with pocket sevens. 6 bigs. Pocket sevens. Julio too early position to be calling with the King Jack off. Martin will be folding the 7 deuce. And action moves around to Doc. Igor the big stack with the King 9 suited. Yeah, given players still to act, this will be put into the dustbin. Rozvadov Plus is asking for a count, but this is for the benefit of the 2 players in the blinds. He's never going to be calling here with 8-3 off. No possibility. Well, it's an opportunity to get an exact count on his opponent's stack. Now, Kamenko. Oh, this is close. I think he might go with this suited ace. He knows Joachim has to shove 6 bigs under the gun +1, and Kamenko Stands up, takes the opportunity. I don't blame him. I do not blame him. Now, graphics showing the equities here, but that will change once Sunshine folds. It's going to be pretty close. Did see a 7 fold at 7 deuce of spades. Was folded by Julio, I believe. So if Kamenko hits, Jakim will just have one out to hit his set. And he does hit. Trips for Kamenko. Queen on the turn. One outer for Jakim. The shortest stack on the table. All in for 6 bigs with pocket 7s. And he's busted. Kamenko pounced on that opportunity. Some players fold there. Not Kamenko. Made a stand. Flip situation. Connected with the board. Flopped. Trips. Left his opponent drawing to one out. Didn't happen for Jakim. And he's busted. First player we've seen busted from our feature table here at the German Championship of Poker. Bounty Hunter event number 2 of the series. 300,000 guaranteed. Here's your average stack, 35 left, 765,000, 750,000, just above is the average, and that's Giulio Colazzo. The Italian folding. This is Martin with the 9-3 offsuit. Doc. Eight 7 offsuit. Rozvadov plus in the cutoff with a suited king. This could be a candidate to open. Lay position, he's in the cutoff, just the button on the blinds. Makes it 75 to go. Kamenko folds, and Sunshine Alley with the suited King Jack. Interesting situation here. Rozvadov Plus has been very active. I think Sunshine will be showing interest here. Wow. Okay. Where's the cutoff open from? Pretty aggressive player, but Sunshine not interested. Short stacked player Sharvin folds, leaves himself with 12.5 bigs. He'll post the small blind, so 12 bigs behind in a stack. Now, Julio under the gun, ace jack, makes it 65 to go, blinds 15 and 30, 35 remain. Doc 1.4, but just not really picking up anything to go with. Rozvadov Plus here with a suited ace. interested. But versus an under the gun open, Julio's been pretty straightforward. Hasn't been super active by any stretch of the imagination, so not sure what way Rozvadov Plus is going to proceed. It looks like he just flats. Kamenko has to fold, and Sunshine on the button here. 9-6 suited, gets out of the way. Sharvin, King Jack. I mean, he just would love to get a chance. See a board here with King Jack. Decides to make the call, and Andres is getting an absolute super price here in the big blind. 35 to call, 255 in the pot. He's getting like 6-1. Decides not to make the call. 34 remain. Well, that price was very attractive for Andres. He would have hit and perhaps won the pot. Rozvadov Plus has connected. Made a pair with the backdoor diamonds, backdoor straight possibility. And I think this bet will just end the hand. Sharvin, small blind, bit of a loose call here with the King Jack off. Given his position and his stack size, leaves himself with 10 bigs. Julio lets it go. Check folds, and Rozvadov Plus brings a stack up to 1.1 million. Started on this feature table with just over 600k, so has been the most profitable player for the last level and a bit. Rozvadov Plus seems to be just floating on this this feature table, should I say. It just seems that all too easy for him. Can't remember him losing a pot. 4-2 suited. Takes his time, looks at the clock. He's going to open, and why not? He's hitting boards, winning pots, and even when he doesn't hit boards, he's winning pots. Sunshine folding the Jack 3 off, and Sharvin, well, 7-6 suited. Again, would love to see a flop, but he just has to let this go. 7-6, 10 bigs behind. I mean, he's tempted to shove, but it'd be suicide in normal conditions. However, he has picked up a read there. He knows Rozvadov Plus is at it, and he decides to 3-bet all in with the 7-6, and it's going to work. Incredible. This move, hugely profitable. It's going to bring a stack from 310 to 450. He's going to add about 50% profit to his stack. There's no way Rozvadov Plus is going to call here. No chance. 245 to call. It's like 8 bigs. It's just way too much to call with 4 high. But I mean, if he could see Sharvin's hand, I'm sure he would snap. He's live. Problem here with this 4 deuce, sometimes you're up against an overpair. Sharvin, nice move, hugely risky, 7 high, and given the amount it was for the pre-flop raiser to call that 3-bet shove, it was only another 8 bigs to call. I mean, any kind of hand strength there from Rozvadov Plus he has to call. So it was a huge gamble there from the short stack Sharvin. But it's paid off. It brings him up to 15 bigs from 310,000, 10 bigs up to 15 bigs, 450k. Kamenko and Sunshine both sitting on 21 bigs, Julio 23 big blinds, and then Rozvadov Plus 34 bigs, and Doc Igor, who you see now looking down at 6-3 under the gun, he's the chip leader, sitting on about 45 big blinds. Chip leader on this table. Still 34 players in the field. Four other tables besides this feature table playing 9-handed still till we get to 24, then we pause the clock and we do a complete redraw to fresh start then tomorrow. We kick off tomorrow at 2 o'clock European time. It's 2:30 actually. The stream is broadcast. One of these players has the chance to win that 40,000 first place payout. Right now they're all guaranteed €724, but it's like final day, final table. That's where all the big payouts are, and as part of the prize pool we're going to have 4 of these players winning the World Series of Poker Europe main event seats. That's the World Series of Poker Europe. Kicks off in October for sure. A tournament to play. Mark it in your diary. Sharvin wins another one. Tide is turned. Sharvin, not the short stack anymore. So the dates for the World Series of Poker Europe, that's the flagship festival outside the US for the World Series of Poker, and it's here in King's Resort Rozvadov, the home of the World Series of Poker Europe. Dates are now confirmed for October 12th, right through to November 3rd. 15 gold bracelets, including the 10K World Series of Poker Europe main event, which four of the players in this event, top four players in this event, will be returning back to the resort to play in that gold bracelet main event at the end of October. And I was saying, if there was one, like, I mean, I'm not sure all these different buy-in levels. I mean, it's crazy what's available now. I mean, I see there's a 250K buy-in at the World Series. But if there's one tournament that, like, if you're just kind of one or two tournament per year person, you like to pick out one or two special events, either buy in or try and qualify for, I think this is definitely one to do. Like, it's just, the field is littered with live qualifiers from these smaller buy-in events. As you can see, there's like four players from this week's 300 buy-in. Last week was a 250 buy-in, 6 qualifiers from that. That was the Italian poker sport. So I mean, it's just hugely valuable. Then of course you have the online qualifiers. King's of course partnering with several of the big online giants. GG, I believe, will be running satellites pretty soon for that World Series of Poker Europe. And then you have the live satellites here in the resort. Of course, you have all the regs on the World Series of Poker circuit. So massive numbers for that 10K main event. Will be absolutely huge. I believe there's a 5 million guaranteed. I mean, it smashed the 5 million during a pandemic. I mean, so just kind of compare that to like the resort fully operational, borders open, everything in full swing, so to speak. I think it's going to be absolutely massive. I'm probably stepping over the mark here by saying this, but I really believe it's going to be close to 10 million for that World Series of Poker Europe main event. I really do. I think it's just hugely, it's massive value. And for me, it's the one event that I'm playing this year. Don't play as much and tend to value my time a lot. But if there is one event I want to play, it's this World Series of Poker Europe here in Kings. But meanwhile, we're back to our feature table here with Kamenko, who for me is one of the real quality players on this table. Haven't seen much of him. Did win that huge flip. Things could be so different. He could be on the rail or down to just a few bigs had he not connected with his ace-9 versus the 7s. But he's back here playing 600k plus, and he's picked up queens. He makes it 70,000. Sharvin folds, and Andres is down under 400k folds. The Italian in the cutoff with the 6-3 suited will fold. Martin on the button, not showing any interest. So just Doc in the small blind, and Razva plus, who now looks down at 9-8 of clubs in the big blind position. And I expect him to put in the 40,000. See it flop, he's suited, he's connected. just while we're waiting for Rozvadov Plus to make his decision. He has a little chat with his opponent. I'm just noticing the comment from Apocalypse UK saying that it's likely going to be the biggest ever World Series Vegas numbers. Yeah, it looks absolutely massive there. I mean, gigantic numbers. So I think the World Series of Poker Europe, I think it's going to break all records. It broke records in 2021, and that was like, it was a state of emergency, and I'm not even joking. So like, you can imagine what's going to happen this year. So book your hotel. That's my advice to you. Don't be a rookie. Make the mistake of waiting till a week before the event and going, oh yeah, what's available, guys? Because there won't be anything available. So book now. Why not? You get super deals there if you go to King's Resort / hotels. Massive attractive prices. Not a great flop if you're sitting with the queens, but given that he didn't hear from the big blind pre-flop, he doesn't have too many aces or kings, and Kamenko checks back. I mean, no need to bet there. Never getting any hands weaker than him to call, just hands that are stronger. Goes check, check. This is... Well, finally, Rozvadov Plus fires, but he's going to get snapped off. Kamenko's not going to raise. He's going to make the call with his queens. There's no other play here except a call. Can't raise, can't fold. Ridiculous to fold here. Rozvadov Plus type of player he is. Of course he's going to have a crack at this. You're going to check back flop, check back turn. Come on, Kamenko. You know you're calling. I know you're calling. Dealer knows you're calling. And I think at this stage, Rozvadov Plus knows he's getting called. Now, he's counting out chips to raise, but I'm not really clear. Maybe someone in the chat can explain why he would raise here. What would the purpose of raising here? To get an ace to fold? Only thing I can think of, a weak ace. But why? I mean, there's a lot of aces he won't get to, like, I don't get it. I really don't. Call is the only way, and I'm really stunned that he's even thinking about not calling. Why? What? He's talking himself out of it. I'm perplexed. I really am. Kamenko, big blind defends. Ace, king, king. It's gone check, check, turn, check, check. Of course you're calling. Put the money in. Kamenko. Let's go. Rozvadov Plus with 9 high, and someone's called clock. I don't blame them. I really don't. I'm totally lost. I'm perhaps missing something here. Maybe someone can explain it to me. What's going on here? But this is an absolute snap call. 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000. I don't understand it. Kamenko, hugely experienced player. One of my favourite players actually to watch, but this is bordering on ridiculous. I'm just not understanding it. And now the TD is there with the clock. He's going to be calling. I mean, if he doesn't call, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. Of course he's calling. He's been sitting beside Rozvadov. He knows he's a loose, splashy, gregarious type player. And if you check back flop and check back turn to Rozvadov, I mean, 99 times out of 100, he's going to make a stab at the pot. And you're sitting there with queens. Perhaps the graphics are wrong. I doubt it. Of course he was calling. Always. This was a little bit of a Punch and Judy show. Really not clear what happened there. Interesting situation, but the end result is what we expected. Kamenko with the queens, check back flop, check back turn. I like his check backs because you're always going to induce a player like Rozvadov to fire. And that's exactly what he achieved. But then he seemed to doubt himself for some reason. Kamenko just started talking himself out of it for some strange reason. And he's usually pretty precise and clear-minded. Now, Sunshine Ellie under the gun with the Queen 10.
Excuse me. One raise. 85,000.
Sunshine Ellie makes it 85,000 under the gun. Well, this is loose. Stepping out of line a little bit here, Sunshine Ellie. It's going to get respect though because she's been playing snug. Again, Rozvadov. Big slick, and Sunshine Ellie going to get punished for this very light open. We're going to see a 3-bet from the Frenchman, Rozvadov. Ace King. Considering his options. Well, I think what he's thinking is this under the gun raise is super strong. That's what I'd be thinking. Because Sunshine Ellie has been playing pretty tight, as I said, and he decides just to let rip. Let's go. Let's play for it. I don't mind this. Just one player still to act. And that's Kamenko in the big blind. He gets out of the way. And what Rozvadov is saying here, right, let's do this. We've got a premium. Let's go for it. And sometimes he gets hands as strong as 10s and jacks to fold there. Which is a huge, I mean, that's a huge plus EV situation when you're getting hands you're flipping against the fold. Might get a call from ace queen suited. Pretty unlikely, but perhaps. Mostly you're just getting all folds except if you run into aces or kings. Well, these hands you're blocking. So not probable that they're out there. And Johan in the chat Just saying to keep it friendly, please. And yeah, I mean, I apologize to viewers for getting a bit excited there when Kamenko went into the tank. I was perhaps a little bit harsh on the gentleman. He does conduct himself pretty well, I have to say, from what I've seen. He's one of my favourite players to watch. He's clear-minded, a good idea where he's at. Not really sure what happened that hand. But what is happening here is Giulio Colazzo, the Italian, opening with the 8-6, makes it 65. And Rozvadov Plus sitting on 1 million. He started this feature table with about 650. He's top of that cumulative winnings stat. And now Kamenko, another premium small blind position. Cowboys, it's looking pretty good for the young player from Slovenia. How does he proceed? You'd expect a 3-bet. Sunshine, Ellie in the big blind. But action first on Kamenko in the small blind with the Cowboys. Sunshine with the snap fold, and Colazzo. Well, this is the problem when you open light with these type of hands. Very tempting to call the 3-bet, try and connect, but I mean it's just not good business. And Giulio, understanding the situation, decides just to cut his losses. Surrenders his hand, and Kamenko now up close to 900k. It's going rather well for him. 30 players remain. Several bust outs. Dealer announce meant that the blinds have now increased once again. 20,000, 40,000. That leaves Andres and Martin sub 10 bigs. Sunshine short, Sharvin short, Giulio Colazzo under 20 bigs. I mean, it's just not that deep anymore. But that's the nature of poker tournaments. Clock ticks, time marches on, blinds go up.
Raise 95,000. Nine pass.
Rozvadov Plus opening in the cutoff. I like this guy, Rozvadov Plus. He's active. Knows how to play a big stack. Sharvin has been up to the task though. Suited king here, king 3 of diamonds.
Good call.
Makes the call. Going to go to a flop. Sharvin defending with the suited king. Rozvadov plus with the benefit of position. Of course, as the pre-flop raiser, he's in control, and that 4 in the window will suit him. Sharvin has missed, does have backdoors. Backdoor straight, backdoor flush possibility. And Rozvadov plus checks back. It's bottom pair. Now this is a real interesting card. It gives Sharvin the open ender, but Rozvadov plus still in the lead.
8-bet 100. To raise over.
Wow. That's interesting. How big is the shove? That's the question. How big is the shove? Rozvadov plus pair and a good shot. It's tough. Tough to make this call. He's ahead. How often is he ahead? That's the question he's asking himself here. How likely is it that he's ahead?
So it's 420,000.
What did he check flop with and check raise turn with? What kind of hands? That's the question going through Rozvadov Plus's mind. Did he make it straight? Ace 3 got there. 6-3 got there. Is it a flush draw, a combo draw? What's going on? Is he against the jack? 5-6 would probably be likely. A hand like 5-6. Another hand he's behind to. It's a close one. Sharvin. The check raise, looking for a fast fold, but Rozvadov has a lot going on here. I say a lot, he has a pair. Third pair. Has a good shot, and that ace likely to be good if he can connect with it. That's what's going through Rozvadov. He folds in the end, Rozvadov plus. And Sharvin, pretty good success rate against Rozvadov plus. That's where he's earned all his money. Very good recognition of what's going on. He knows that Rozvadov plus is the most active at the table. Seen him bluffing a couple of times. He's involved in quite a lot, and this is great progress for Sharvin, who was the shortest stack on this table at one stage.
No coach, please.
To druhou kartu jsem mají doprovodně dělat, prosím, 5 plus.
Sunshine Ellie,
One raise.
11 and a half bigs on the button. I'd be shoving here with the ace 10.
Two pass.
Again, Sharvin shows respect, folds a small pair. That's the problem with this raise, as opposed to the shove. Some hands you're flipping against might 3-bet shove against you, and you have to call off in a flip situation, whereas you just let rip with the ace 10. You're going to get a lot of these hands you're flipping against to fold.
Now you can speak Italian.
The problem is that Bulgaria has to pay a big line.
David, there's a new player coming around the meeting.
Good luck.
It's a table for us. Fourth table, 7 players, 27, 28. Easy mathematics.
What is mathematics?
Mathematics,
What is mathematics?
you can ask the Macedonian Devoice. She knows. Because everything is starting from Macedonia.
7 pass.
Now, Rozva plus 9-3 of clubs.
Nine plus. One pass. Two pass. Four raise over.
So let's see. The moment of truth. On the TV they know I
Small blind all in rip here with the 4-3. Giulio Colazzo.
Pass.
Wow, folds. It's worked. Andre's got it through.
I can understand.
Huh?
I can wait on the same.
Yeah, I know Germans. Germans, they always try to steal from Balkan. It's always like this. Seeing the opportunity, let's go. But don't worry, Balkan are still there. Do you know why? Because you never ever can steal everything.
Some deep philosophy on this table.
Deep philosophy.
Now, under the gun, King 4 suited.
8 pass.
Doc Igor.
Nine pass.
Huh?
One pass.
Don't draw fun.
Two pass. Four raise all in. Six pass.
Chicken head.
Now, suited ace for Andres on the button. Interesting here. Doc. So it looks like Doc was on the big blind there. Julio, it seems, was moved.
So you want to say that he saved me? Potential. He saved me. Thank you, Mr. Ninja.
Kamenko. Jack 4. You can see 28 remain. We're going to pause the clock at 24. This is Sunshine Ellie. 6-4. Now Sharvin. He's made some real decent progress, Sharvin. Ace 5. High position, it's tricky to play given a stack size. He folds Andres up to $500,000. Queen Deuce, not going to be shoving with this hand straight into Martin on the button while he's super short, 290. I think he shoves here. Wow. He folds, suited Queen. Would have got Doc to fold. That's for sure. I think he should have shoved there. Suited Queen on the button, folded around. And I think Rozvadov has a difficult time calling that shove. But Martin doesn't take advantage. Rozvadov gets the walk. Button moves. 28 players left. We're going to pause the clock at 24.
Exactly. The second one was way better, but not better than king.
One pass. Two pass.
Now, Andres. King Deuce.
Four pass.
Lets it go, and Martin in the cutoff. 10-4. He'll certainly be folding this. 290 in a stack. Big blind. 40.
Six pass.
Doc on the button. Ace Queen. 1.2 million stack.
7 race all in.
A little bit of an overbet here with the Ace Queen. I mean, he's not getting called by any weaker hands. I think Ace Jack, Ace 10 suited, have to fold to this shove.
8 pass.
The only thing that calls is stronger hands, but it's like Doc happy enough to take down the blinds. Real interesting stat. Doc here, who you see taking down the pot, and Sunshine Ellie in seat 1 are both partners, both a couple. And out of 893, both still remain with 28 players to go. Incredible stat. Can they make the final day together? That'll be really interesting. Sunshine is short 14 bigs, but not desperate. Doc still the big stack on the table, 1.3 million.
Okay. I will take 10,000 chips. So small.
Combo. Half a small blind.
Yeah. Not even half. A small one, yes.
Yes, we're playing down to 24 tonight, and then we're going to come back tomorrow for the final 3 tables, brand new redraw. We come back at 2:30 tomorrow, and you can see 27 remain now. Average stack about 1 million, and all of these players locked up €862 for themselves. Martin, just not happening for him. 290. Seven bigs. Rozvadov plus folds on the button. Sorry, Doc folded. Rozvadov plus now on the button with the king 5. $95,000. Kamenko folding in the small blind. And Sunshine Ellie in the big blind with 10-3. Just 12 bigs behind. Sunshine Ellie folds. Rozvadov plus wins another one. Button moves. I mean, if this was to continue in the same kind of format, there's only one winner, is this guy, Rozvadov plus. Well, perhaps Sharvin. For me, the only real two players that have shown significant, desire and ambition to go for it. Doc started really strong, Doc Igor. Kind of sat back, waiting for the premiums. This is Andres. Well, he's come to life, but perhaps a little late in the day. Under the gun here with the 9-4, this goes into the bin. Well, I mean, this is a real good situation for Rozvadov plus. He's continually opening. And now he picks up the goods, cut-off position, maximum starting hand. Gonna make it 85, that's my guess. Well, 95 again. Kamenko, king 5 suited. He's thinking about it, and it's a 3-better fold. Don't think he's calling here on the button. Rozvadov plus maximum starting hand, has the bullets. Kamenko thinking about it, but decides to fold. But it's good night, Sunshine Ellie. It's brutal, it's harsh. The woman has no choice. 12 bigs, she's got a 3-bet. Cut off open from a serial raiser. There's the all-in as expected. I mean, it's just desperate. It's horrible. She's run into it. Snapperoonie. Got the bullets, says Rozvadov plus. And you notice Doc there on the left of your screen expressing horror. His better half crushed on the way out. So close. End of day 2. Deep into day 2. But it looks like it's going to be over unless running clubs, running cards for a straight deuce of hearts, no good. 10 and 10 only can save Sunshine Ellie, and it's over for the lovely lady. Nothing she can do. 3-bet jammed with the 10s. What can I do? Gotta put it in there. Absolutely agree. I mean, it's great for this guy. Razva plus. Good luck kiss to her hubby. And a fist bump for the opponent that eliminated her. Razva plus. It was just set up beautifully for him. Continually banging away, hammering his opponents. Then he actually picked up the goods. It was really good timing for him. Unfortunate for Sunshine Ellie. She looked down at 10s versus a cutoff open from, I mean, super active, super aggressive. Rozvadov plus. Of course she's going to 3-bet jam with 12 bigs in her stack. That's what she did. No help. 10s and aces. And it would have been some story if both Doc and Sunshine would have made this day 3 final day of this German Championship of Poker Bounty Hunter event. But half the team is gone. But Doc's still flying the flag. He's still got 1.3 million. But this is the boss. This is the chip leader. Rozva plus. Martin all in. Ace 9. Had to go in. No choice. Under the gun, Ace 9 all in. Folded right around to the blinds. Suited ace for Sharvin, but I think he's going to preserve his stack. Ace 4. Too often he's crushed here. He's considering it. Yeah, they're going to go into the dustbin as expected. Andres with the Queen 9, short himself, just 10 bigs behind, so the Queen 9 off will be folded also. Martin gets his stack up to 10 bigs, but he's going to be posting 20% blind now. 40 for the big blind, 40 for the BB and Tay. 26 remain here. Close to the end of day 2. 40,000 up top.
It was ace deuce.
I mean, I'm hoping somebody else to call, except the big blind, because then it's the best way to double.
Jack 7. Doc Igor folds Rozva plus chip leader. $95 is the price. Snap fold all around to Sharvin. Sharvin sitting on 650. Average stack about $1 million. Just nods his head. He knows Rozva plus is at it, but there's nothing he can do. Has to fold, as does Andres with the 8-4 off in the small blind. Just Martin in the big blind. And it doesn't get much worse than 4-2 offsuit. And Martin just shakes his head, indicates to the dealer to hand the pot over to Rozva Plus, who is now sitting on 1.6 million. interesting couple hours. A lot of bust outs, not too many from this table. We had Jacquem all in with the sevens versus the ace nine, and then unfortunate situation for Sunshine Ellie. All in, 3-bet all in with our tens, ran into the aces belonging to this gentleman, Rozvadov Plus, who's been running riot on this table. Now, Andre's on the button. He's going to be shoving, you'd expect, a6. Let's do this, he says. Puts it in. 10 big blind shove on the button with an ace. Well, Martin. Compulsory call with ace queen here. Has to call. Doc getting a wonderful price. Absolutely wonderful. 355, but just a little bit too expensive, and his hand is just way too weak. Pretty much end of hand here. Andres with just 2% equity. Turn is an 8, and it leaves Andres with just a couple of bigs. Dealer's just going to do the maths.
Few big blinds and a drop.
Very close. But there is a couple of bigs left in Andre's stack. Not sure what's going on here. Martin thinks he has him covered. And looks like Martin was right. He's due a few chips there. He got paid. Andre's absolutely down to fumes. One big blind in a stack, I think. 1.5 bigs.
Well, I get 2 of these, so right now I feel like a millionaire.
Saying 105. Just over 2 bigs. Rozvadov plus chip leader 1.6, Doc 1.2. Kamenko. Not really that many bigs on this table. And for sure, I think we're going to see Andres all in here. 10-9. This is good enough. Money will go in.
Stari upam da 1,04
Andre still. All in as expected.
I will leave it to the other guys to finish the day.
Doc in the small blind asking for a count. Doc calls with the Queen Deuce and Rozvadov plus puts in the additional 65 and a blind check from Doc. Wow, the Queen for Doc. 4, 6, 7, good shot. Ace on the river. Doc wins the pot. He eliminates Andres deal. And that's end of tournament for Andres. I think it could be end of day for the rest of the players. I think the clock has stopped. We are down to the final 3 tables. Just 24 players remain. Andres just looking kind of shocked. What can he do? Got it. He had to rip there with the ace-6. He was unfortunate to run into the ace-queen. He's Busto, eliminated in 25th. And the dealer has indeed stopped dealing. These players will bag their chips. It's your TD. It's end of day 2 of the German Championship of Poker Bounty Hunter event. 24 remain. We're back tomorrow, 2:30. We're going to bring all the action to you live here from King's Resort. But until then, it's goodbye from me and goodbye from King's. But do tune in tomorrow to see which one of these players will be awarded that 40,000 first place payout.
Somehow you managed to speak German.
Good night.